Hello and welcome. In the previous video, we had learned to create functions, correct? In this video, we will learn to return values from functions. Alright? Now, let me create a function to multiply two numbers. I'll create a function first and then I'll explain you how to return values from it. Okay? So I'll say void and then I'll say mul multiply numbers. Okay? And here I will be passing decimal values. Okay? Float num1 and float num2. Alright? Yeah. Next, inside the body, I will create a variable float by the name product. Okay, by the name product, which will store the value after multiplying number 1 and number 2. Okay, and in the next line, I'll print percentage f and I'll print product. Alright, yes. So this is my function. Here I will call the function. I'll say mul and I will pass 4.2 comma 6.7. Okay, so I'm passing float values and so I'm saying float num1, float num2. I'm passing float values. Alright. Yeah, so let me run this and see if there are any errors. If there are any errors, I will correct it in front of you. Okay, yeah, so there are no errors and so I'm getting 28.13 as the product. Okay, so let us make this more readable. Yeah, product of two numbers is product. All right, yeah, so this is my function now. Okay, now many a times you will have to return values from the function. All right, now let me give you an example. Let me give you an analogy. This is a mixer or blender. You can take the example of blender too. This is a mixer and this is similar to a function. Okay, this is similar to a function. Here what is this function doing? It is multiplying two numbers. So here what is this doing, or what does this do? This makes juice of the things that you put inside. Okay, this multiplies two numbers. This is a function. This makes juice of the things that you put inside it. So this is a function. This is similar to a function. Okay, now what you pass to this function is the parameter or argument. Okay, so oranges in this case is the thing that you pass to this mixer or blender. So this is the argument or the parameter which is equal to this. Okay, now these are like oranges. You are adding these oranges to this mixer or this blender. Alright, now after adding this, you run it and it becomes juice. Now you can directly drink the juice out of this mixer. You can do that. Okay, you can directly drink the juice out of this mixer, from this mixer, and that is what we are doing. We are printing the product directly from the function. We are printing the product directly from the function, similar to drinking directly from the juicer. But what we can do is we can put it into an empty glass. We can pour the juice into an empty glass and then serve it to others or drink from it. Correct? So this is equal to returning value from the function. You are taking out the value from the function and bringing it outside. You are taking out the juice from the mixer and bringing it outside. which is equal to returning the value. Okay, returning the value, and that is what we will do. We will not print it here. We will not print from inside the function. We will print outside the function. Okay, but for us to print outside the function, we need to send the product from here to here. For that, we use return keyword. Okay, return. What is that we want to return? What is that we want to return here? The juice, the thing that we get after running this mixer. What is that we want to return here? We want to return the product, the thing that we get after multiplying this or performing the operation. So we will return product. Okay, we will return product. So the product that is returned must be stored somewhere, correct? The juice that is that you want to take out must be stored somewhere. In this case, it is an empty glass. So here we need to create a variable. So we will say float result. Okay, float result. This is the variable I am creating, which is similar to the empty glass. Into this empty glass, I will be pouring orange juice. Into this result, I will be storing the product. Okay, but here, instead of having it in separate line, we will have it here itself. Okay, float result is equal to MUL numbers and the data. Basically, what we are saying is pass 4.2 and 6.7 into this function, and whatever is returned from this function, store it in result variable. Okay, that is what we are saying by saying float result equal to MUL numbers. Now what you can do is print it out. So here I will say %f and result. Okay, and result. So now let me run it and see if I get any error. So you see, I get error here. This is because here I have void. Okay, I have void. This must be the same data type that I am trying to return. What is that I am trying to return? A floating point number, a decimal value, correct? So here it should be float. Here also it must be float. So let me run it now, and you can see I have a spelling mistake here. Okay, and you can see I have 28.13 as a result. So I had void till now because I was not returning anything from the function. I was directly printing the value from inside the function. When you do not want to return anything, you have to use void. Okay, when you do not want to return anything from the function, you have to use void. But if you want to return anything, then what is that you want to return? Is it an integer value, floating point? Is it a character? Is it a string? What is it? That is what you have to mention here. So this is the data type of return value. Okay, data type of return value. So this must be similar to the value that you are returning. Okay, yes. So I hope it is clear. I will explain once again. You are passing oranges. You are passing oranges 4.2 and 6.7 into the mixer or blender, which is nothing but the function here. The mixer or blender mixes it up, makes juice out of it, calculates the product, and then you are taking out the juice and pouring it into the glass. Okay, you are sending the product, and storing it in result variable, and then you can do whatever you want with the result. Okay, you can do whatever you want with the result. So here I am just printing it out. Alright, so this is how you return a value from a function. Okay, now if you see here, let me I hope you have understood. Let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this also, and let me have printf and hello there. All right, and let me run it. Okay, so you can see I get hello there. If you see this, we have int main, correct? Int main. This is a function. This is the main function, this is the first function which runs when C program gets executed. This is the main function. Okay, so main function gets executed first. You see, we have been using int till now, but we do not have anything to return here. We have not mentioned return something, but in reality we have return 0. Okay, return 0. So this is the basic structure of C program. All right, this is the basic structure of C program. I had not used this up until now, because if I had used it, it would have confused you. Okay, because up until this point I cannot, or I could not explain you what this is. So now you must remember that even though this is not mandatory, it is used in the basic structure of C program. Alright, so this is the basic structure of C program. We are returning 0. What is 0? 0 is an integer value. So int main is a function which gets executed first. Okay, yes. Now let me create a function here. Alright, let me quickly write a program and then come back and explain it. Alright, so here I have created a function. Alright, I have written a function, and the function is to add two numbers. So int add numbers, int num1, int num2. Okay, I am passing num1 and num2, both are of integer type. So here I am adding number 1, number 2 and storing it in sum, which is also of int type, and then I am returning sum. Okay, returning sum. So here whatever is returned is stored in result variable, which is once again integer value, and then I am printing it out. Alright, printing it out. So now everything is proper. Let me run it. You can see that when I run the program, I am getting an error. It says that implicit declaration of functions add number and something. Alright. Now what is wrong with this program? It seems everything is correct to me, but what is wrong here? What is wrong here is this function that I have written is coming after main function. Alright, so let me cut this. And let me paste it before main function. Alright, now main function is second, my function is first. So let me run it now, and you can see I get result without any errors. So let me pass 9 and 4, and you can see I get 13 here. No errors at all. But if I have it after main function, I get an error like this. This is because we have not declared the function. Whenever the C program runs, it starts with the main function. Okay, it starts from main function. But since this second function which I have created is coming after main function, it doesn't know whether there is a function or not. Alright, it doesn't know whether there is a function or not. So what we have to do is basically declare the function here. If you want to have function before the main function, then you do not have to do anything. But generally when we write C program, the main function will be coming first. Okay, which makes it easy for us to see where the main function is. Alright, now this is just a small program which has two functions. A program may have many number of functions. If that is the case, then it will be troublesome to find where the main function is. So generally main function will be coming at the beginning. Alright, so you have to place other functions below the main function, and when you want to do so, what you have to do is basically declare the function. Now instead of telling you what should go here, what should go there is basically this. Okay, so I will just copy this and paste it here. That's all. Okay, we have to mention the return data type of the function and then name of the function and then what is that we are passing into it. Alright, so let me have a semicolon here. This is the function declaration. Basically, it is just this. It is just this along with the semicolon. Alright, so now let me run it and I get 13 without any errors. Okay, so I'll pass 9 and 9 and you can see I get 18. Alright, so if you have main function and one more function, and if you want the second function to be below main function, then you have to declare the function first. And declaring is nothing but just copying this, pasting it and ending it with a semicolon. Semicolon. Alright? Yes, I hope it is clear. Now, about the inbuilt functions. See, what we have created here is a function. Alright? Now, this is user created function. There are inbuilt functions too. They are inbuilt into the C program. One such function is this. Okay, one such function is printf. Alright. So printf is an inbuilt function. And what does this printf do? It prints the value to the screen. What does this function do? It calculates the sum of two numbers. What does printf function do? It prints out values to the screen. Alright? Yes. Now, here I have called the function, correct? I have called the function and passed the arguments, which is similar to this. Here also I am calling the printf function and I am passing the value to it. Okay? So this and this are same basically. Here also we are calling add numbers function, which is this. Here also we are calling printf function and passing result value to it. Now comes the question. Where are the codes for printf function? For this function, here are the codes, correct? When you call this function, these are the codes that are getting executed. But when you call printf function, where are the codes that are getting executed? What are the codes? The codes are inside this header file, and that is why we are using this hash include stdio.h, meaning include the header files. Okay, standard input output header files. Inside this header files are the codes for printf function. Along with printf, scanf is also there. There are many others also. Okay, there are many other functions inside this. And if you want to use those functions in your program, you have to say hash include stdio.h. Basically, what you are saying is we will be using the function included in this header file in our program. Alright? Alright. So let me use a small function and show you how to include other header files. Okay? So let me delete this much. Let me delete this entire thing. Okay? Let me delete this entire thing. I'll create the main function. Alright? Int main. So this is the basic structure of a program, and return 0. Alright? So this is the basic structure of C program. So here I will say int num is equal to let me say 4. Okay, int num equal to 4, and I will create float result is equal to sqrt, and to this I will pass num. Okay, num, and then I will print the result. So percentage f and then result. Okay, result, and I'll end it. Now see, what I have done is I have declared a variable called num and stored value 4 in it. Okay. There is a function called as square root, sqrt. Now this square root function calculates the square root of a number, and to this function I am passing num. So what will be passed to this function? 4 will be passed. So 4 will be passed to this function, and whatever result that you get, that will be stored in result variable. And from square root function, what you get is a floating point result, and that is why I have declared it as float. Okay. And this result is what is printed here. Okay. So now let me run it. And you can see I get an error. This is because this function is not inside this. This function, square root function, is inside another header file, which is math.h. Okay. So here it is saying it is inside math.h, so include it. So what we have to do is use hash include math.h. Okay. So this is a header file, and inside this header file is this function, or the codes inside this function are the codes for this function. So now when I run it, you can see I get 2.000, and if I change it, I'll change it to 5, and you can see I get 2.23 as a result. So basically inside math.h is the square root function, and to that square root function I am passing num, and I am calling it, basically I am calling the function square root and I am passing num to it. Num is 5 in this case, and what is returned from that function is a floating point value, and so that floating point value is stored in result, and that result is printed out here. Alright. So you can see that I have used math.h. This is also an inbuilt function. Alright. So if you want to use inbuilt functions, you need to include the header files in which their codes are in. Alright. Now as you proceed in the journey of C programming, this will come naturally to you. Alright. Now it may be worrying as to how to by heart this. Do not worry, as you proceed this will come naturally to you. Alright. Yes. So that's it for this video. Go ahead and practice everything. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.